Did y'all know that October was Black History Month in the UK? I mean, not that I ever need a reason to celebrate Black authors, because we do that all year round on this channel, but we really have to go up for the Black British authors. So let's get into the video. When I was putting together this video, I realized that it's a lot of Black authors that I don't even know where they live. I don't have a clue where they live, where they exactly from. So I had to do a lot of digging. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know such and such live in New York, and you know. But anyway, welcome back to Chocolate Covered Pages. I'm Kiona, and today, as you already know, we are going to be talking about some Black British authors that I think should be on your radar. And then we're going to talk about some that I haven't read yet that are definitely on my radar. Okay, so the first author that I want to spotlight is going to be Bolu Babalola. And I first read her debut book, which is a collection of short stories. And y'all know, if y'all have been following this channel for some time now, that I don't really, me and short story collections don't really get along that well. But I will say that I enjoyed most of the stories in this collection, some more than others. But the ones that I enjoyed, I really enjoyed. Like, I was just like, oh man, she should really make this into a full novel. Like, that's how tuned in I was. So it's called Love in Color, Mystical Tales from Around the World. We have some modern stories. We have some Greek mythology retellings. We have some West African folklore. There's a large range of stories in this book, all centering around Black love. I just really enjoyed this one. She then came out with a novel called Honey and Spice, which is a young adult romance that features some fake dating. And honestly, fake dating is one of my least favorite tropes, but I still felt like this one was cute. You know, it was cute. We follow a girl and she's in college, and that is where this fake dating is taking place. So right now, those are the only two books that she has out, but I would definitely say she is worth a try. Let's also talk about Crystal Zara Opia, and she came out with Rootless. I felt like this was a pretty strong debut from this author. This book takes place half in London, and the other half is also spent in Ghana. I thought that this book was so well done. At the beginning of the book, it starts a countdown, but you don't know what this countdown is for until you get to the very end. I was listening to the last half of this book on audio because I was just like, I cannot get through the rest of my workday until I know what happened. Like, I was reading this physically, and then I got to work and I was like, I really just need to know what happens. I literally got the audiobook just to finish out the rest of this book because I needed to know what was gonna happen. This book is about a marriage in distress, and it's about motherhood. Oh man, this book is about so many things. I really wish more people were talking about this book. You know, it basically, this book kind of flips back and forth from the present to the past. And in the past, we start to find out, how did these two people end up together? How did they get to this point? You know, because we know within like the first page that the woman in this book has left. We don't know why. We don't know where she, like, is. We just know that she gone. Okay? And it really just starts right then and there, and then we start to find out, once we go back into the past, how did they meet, how did they get together, how did they end up married in the first place. So many things, and I would definitely recommend this book for people that are married. I probably don't recommend this book enough, but look, I'm recommending it now. Y'all got it, so please definitely pick this one up. I'm definitely looking forward to more from this author. Another author that I want to talk about is Michele Blackman. And Michele Blackman is pretty popular in the UK. I'm not sure how popular she is in America, but she is pretty popular in the UK. She is famous for her book series called Noughts and Crosses, and it actually has a TV show. So I only read book 1, so I can only speak about that one. I can't speak about the rest of the series. This is a young adult series, and in this series, white people are the oppressed and black people are the oppressors. And it's a very interesting take on race. It's very interesting. I always love reading books like this, and it's kind of like a Romeo and Juliet type of retelling, because we have a black girl from a very prominent black family, and she falls in love with a white boy who, you know, his family, they don't really have too much. You know, they don't really have too much. There is a group of other white people in this book, including his family, that are like wanting to like rise up because they're tired of being oppressed, which is very interesting to read. But I just found this first book to be very interesting. I need to go back to the TV show, but yes, this one is her most popular book series, and you know, for good reason. Okay, so next we have Candice Cardi Williams. Now we know Candice Cardi Williams very well over here in the US. Okay, she is the author of Queenie, and she also wrote this book called People Person. I actually have not read People Person. It's not getting the best reviews, but I have not read this. I do want to read this, you know, for myself. I would like to still read this. But let's talk about Queenie for 1 second. Queenie is the book that, in my opinion, tore apart the black reading community. That is a book where just bringing up the name of it will spark all types of fires. Okay, I could literally go on IG right now and just write Queenie is the best book ever, and I will have all types of DMs. It will just go crazy, right? So I just want to say my opinion just once and for all, because I know someone is going to ask me, because it's literally either you like Queenie or you don't like Queenie. It's no one's ever in between on Queenie. I will say that Queenie is a book that is not perfect, okay? And looking back on Queenie, yes, I did like Queenie at the time, and let me tell you why I like Queenie at the time. I like Queenie at the time because it was a book that showed that it's okay for black girls to not have all their shit together. That is the part that I like about this book, okay? And I understand why people, specifically black women, hate Queenie. They're upset about it. Yes, they're upset about what's inside of Queenie, as far as what she goes through, the crap she puts up with, especially from, you know, all these white guys that she's dated. Yes, I do not like that when the conversation was brought up about her possibly just dating black guys, because that was what I was thinking the entire book. Like, why don't you just go date black guys, right, if white guys ain't treating you right? And it does get brushed to the side. It does. So I can acknowledge that. But I will also acknowledge the fact that I Wish that that was a book that I had read in my 20s. Don't forget the fact that Queenie is in her very early 20s, just graduated from college, having her first job. She's failing. She don't know what the hell she's doing. And when you're around that age, you don't know what you're doing. So I really thought it was cool for her to write a book just about that very spot of when you're graduating from college, you're getting, you know, probably most likely your first real job, and you're failing at everything, you know, trying to date, you know, it's a lot of stuff that you are still trying to figure out about yourself and how you want to present yourself to the world. I also love that it really talks about going to therapy and getting help. You know, that there's so many things that there's so many like little things inside of Queenie where I feel like if you just look beyond the surface of just, you know, the stupid things that Queenie is doing, and me being my big age at the time when I read it, I just kept thinking, I was thinking of Queenie like she was my younger sister. I wasn't thinking of her as like, you know, somebody my age moving like this. Like, absolutely not. If she was 30 something, I'd have been like, girl, if you don't, like, I would have been done, right? But when you take into consideration all of those things, it just worked for me. It just worked. And I'm, again, still looking forward to People Person. And no, I have not checked out the TV series on Hulu. I'm definitely still going to check that one out. As y'all can tell, I am somebody where I don't watch a whole lot of TV. As far as like solo TV, like I have TV shows that I will watch, like it's for me and my husband to watch, and it's a list of those TV shows. As far as me solo watching TV, I don't really do that unless it's like during my lunch break at work, and I don't spend an entire hour watching whatever show I'm watching. And it's usually some kind of something trashy like the Love Island or whatever. I don't want to watch nothing that's going to make me think while I'm at work. I'm already using my damn brain for like the past, you know, for 8 hours. So I'm good. Another debut author that I put on this list is going to be Kuchinga Shinji. And she wrote The Library Thief. I have it somewhere, and it's in one of my 40 book stacks in this room. And I know if I would have tried to pull it out, the whole damn thing would have fell on me. So y'all know what the book looked like. I'll put a picture up here. So this book is about a young woman. She's living with her father, but she ends up doing something so unforgivable that her father was like, you know what, I'm so done with you, right? So her father is a bookbinder. He taught her how to bind books and how to restore them as well. And her father gets a letter from a rich man, and he's basically saying that he wants the father to help him restore his library. So the girl decides that she's going to show up at this rich man's house and basically say, okay, my father sent me in his place. Meanwhile, the father don't even know that she's there, right? But, you know, she needs money. She needs to take care of herself, and she knows that her father is no longer an option. Yeah, so she comes to this manor. He agrees to allow her to stay. There's a lot of rumors swirling around about how she passed away, what happened to her, who did it, you know. So our girl decides that she wants to find this out. Somehow, while she's in the library, she ends up finding the wife's diary. So, of course, she starts to read it. Her little nosy butt. So, she starts to read it, and, you know, she starts trying to unfold the mystery there as well. I will tell you that if you decide to pick this up, there is some sexual assault on the page in this book. So keep that in mind. Having said all of that, I am looking to see what other time periods in historical fiction this author wants to write about, because I was definitely interested in this one. It had a lot of extra stuff going on that I feel maybe we didn't really need, but you know, all in all, it was still a solid book. Another one we have is Farita Aiki. This is the author of Ace of Spades and also the most recent book, Where Sleeping Girls Lie. Now, as y'all know, and I mentioned multiple times, Where Sleeping Girls Lie, I was not a fan of that one. I felt like it was way too long and it felt very similar to Ace of Spades to me. But Ace of Spades, I like that one. This is considered a dark academia. It takes place in a high school. So we follow two black students that are going to this predominantly white school. And they both have been put up for, I think, what do they call it? Head boy, or is that Hogwarts? But it's basically the equivalent of head boy and head girl, right? And they're both like, oh, okay, you know, cool. Then all of a sudden, they both start getting these threatening text messages from somebody named Ace. And Ace is basically trying to spill all of their tea. And they got a lot of tea, the both of them. I'm not even going to lie. Like, if you want to give this to your teen to read, I would say your teen needs to be at least 17. At least. Because they talk about sex and all of that, okay? It's, you know. I love the big reveal. I was very much on the edge of my seat. I enjoyed all of that, right? So, even though Where Sleeping Girls Lie was not my favorite, I definitely want people to read this author and check her out. And you know, obviously any other books that she has coming out, I would definitely be interested in. And then we also have Abidare, or Abidare, and she is the author of The Girl with the Louding Voice, and also the most recent sequel to that is And So I Roar. So let's talk about this one for a second. So we follow a 14-year-old Nigerian girl, and she ends up getting married off to an older man, and she becomes his fourth wife. I don't know what number. I think she's like his third or his fourth wife. I know she way down the line, okay? And she ends up, you know, she's there to basically give him a son. She goes there. She doesn't want to be there. The other wives are not very nice to her. And all Aduni wants is an education. She just wants to learn English. So this book is basically, I think this book would be considered young adult. Yeah, I would say this is more along the lines of like young adult, coming of age, because you know, we see the evolution of Aduni from the very beginning of this book to the very end. Now, I don't know exactly what takes place in this one because I haven't read it yet. But, you know, I'm assuming it's a continuation of what, you know, what Aduni ends up getting into after the events of this book. But yeah, you should definitely check those out. So I went around my library pulling some black British authors that I have on my radar. Y'all can tell me if I should keep them there, if y'all read any of these. Okay, so this one just came out, The Rest of You by Mame Blue. I don't really know what this one is about. But a triumphant story of one woman's journey to uncover a foundational family secret from the childhood she does not remember. So something happens to the woman in this story when she's a child, but she doesn't remember it. Yep, so I'm interested in that. And Helen Oyeyemi. Now, I mentioned her before in a previous video that I keep collecting her books. I just pulled this one for now, but I got like 4 of them already. And I really want to get to her before the end of the year. At least one of her books. I just hate that I keep collecting and collecting them and I haven't read any of her books. And October is really the perfect month to try her because a lot of her books are, you know, they're very different. Like, from what I hear, they're a bit strange. They're very unique. So I'm interested in this one. The Lonely Londoners by Sam Selvin. This book I've always wanted to read. This really talks about West Indians, what that was like migrating to London. So yeah, this is a great month to pick something like that up. And of course, I couldn't have this list on here without Bernadine Evaristo. And I have Girl, Woman, Other, which won the Booker Prize in 2019, and Blonde Roots by her as well. This one I'm absolutely most interested to read. Absolutely most interested. And then this one I've also had for a little while. Ooh, a long while. 2021 this book came out. Ooh. In the Palace of Flowers by Victoria Princewell. This is another Black British author. And I don't really, let's see. Sex and Friendship, Ambition and Political Intrigue. Secrets and Betrayal will set the fate of the two slaves, Jamila and Abimelech, in this groundbreaking debut novel. I'm interested. I was interested when I got the damn book, and I'm still interested, okay? Alright, and Hope and Glory by Jendela Benson. I've had this one for some time as well. I did not know that this author was from the UK until, of course, you know, I looked it up. And also Diana Evans, Ordinary People. And I love this cover. I loved it when I got it. Still love it to this day. I actually found this one behind, you know how these is all doubled? This was behind. So, and I was like, why would I put this back here? Because this cover is so cute. Anyway, so I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Make sure you let me know down in the comments below any Black British authors you think that I should definitely have on my radar, because I am searching. I realized when I was doing this that I have a slight blind spot. I do read a lot of Black authors, but I need to do better. I have to do better because obviously I do read a lot more Black American authors, and I do want to change that. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Share this video with a friend, and if you're new here, make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!